Warning, we are not trained or licensed professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. We only use the name as a means to appreciate cinema as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other forms of enhancements that you might find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly.
Additional disclaimer. If the film says we can say it too. So check the film rating, and that will be our episode rating. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. So this is a podcast. If you don't know what a podcast is, it is an audio recording of people discussing things. Here we discuss film, and it's also therapeutic, so we call it film therapy.
Mm-hmm. We are your therapists today.
I think so.
My name's Madison.
I'm Jake, and I think I need therapy, so I'm going to take a back seat this round, this session. Real folk blues are starting to hit me now.
Oh, no.
That's a reference to Cowboy Bebop, which is, like session 1, session 2.
Oh.
That's the that's like the closing theme of the series. So.
Okay.
It's really good. Go watch it.
Go home and watch it.
Yeah, go home and watch it. Yeah, so this time we watched the Demi Moore and Patrick the Swayze 90s classic, Ghost.
Ooh.
Which I had never seen before, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
But I guess it was made in 1990, so it's a little bit past my end date.
Right. Your prime.
Yeah, my prime. Yeah, do you want to synopsize this for us?
It starts off, Patrick Swayze's character, his name is Sam, and his girlfriend Molly, played by Demi Moore, and their friend Carl are moving into a new apartment not Carl, but Carl's helping them move into their new apartment, Molly and Sam. And they live in New York. Molly is an artist. She works with clay sculptures, and Sam is a banker, works with a lot of money.
A little too much money.
Little too much money. And their friend Carl, he's cool. He comes over all the time. They have dinner together and do things. And then one day, Molly and Sam go to the theater. And in a Batman-like manner, someone comes and tries to rob them. Sam ends up getting shot and dies in the street. He realizes he's dead. We still see him on the screen as Patrick Swayze, and then we see him go through all of his emotions of being dead, figuring out the afterlife world, or the mid-afterlife world, where he meets other ghosts, like this guy in the emergency room, and this guy on a train who's really creepy and yells at him for being on the subway. He's like, "It's my train."
Yeah, that was very odd and off-putting.
Yeah, it was.
It just happens.
I mean, it's kind of a setup for later, but it's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
When it happens.
Yeah. It definitely sets up what happens later. I just mean the initial scene is very...
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of out of nowhere. It's like, oh, okay, he's a ghost. Oh, he's like, get off my train. It just happens.
He's just, like, screaming at him, and they fight for a minute. And I think there could have been another way to set up that next scene that he comes back in. But anyway.
Maybe just an editing choice,
Yeah. Then Patrick Swayze walks into this palm reader's shop and runs into Oda Mae Brown, played by Whoopi Goldberg. She's a fake psychic, but turns out she can actually hear Sam, and she's very confused because she's just used to scamming people. It's so funny. Her character's great.
She's the best. Sam
makes her help him, and they go on an adventure and say, like, Sam followed his murderer to his house, to the murderer's house, finds out his name and his address, and he knows that the murderer is going to come back and steal from them and probably kill Molly. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to save Molly and using Whoopi Goldberg to help. Then we discover that their friend Carl was in on it. He's the one who hired the murderer to kill Sam so that he could steal some money from the bank. Sam has been trying to learn how to interact with the normal world. So he gets instruction from the train ghost on how to manipulate objects. So eventually, in the end, he can kind of fight and
that was great.
People. Yeah.
Training montage.
Yeah. He's like flicking pennies. Mm-hmm. They do this whole elaborate thing where Sam has Oda Mae Brown play this character because she has a background of having fake identities and everything. So she's used to this kind of work, so he has her go in and pretend to be the person that is taking the money out of the bank that's actually a fake person that Carl made up so that he could get the money, but then they take it out the money before Carl can get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up giving the money away. They donate it to a church. And then they save Molly by fighting off Willie and Carl, and they both end up dead and dragged to hell. We see them get dragged to hell by demons.
Same demons that dragged Jason. Or
yes.
No, wait, no. They look more like the creatures in... It's not really a spoiler, but in season 3 of Twin Peaks, there's creatures that look the same, like the exact same. So that's what it reminded me of.
Creepy. So then Sam's work on Earth is done. He's protected Molly, and they say goodbye in this long, sad sequence at the end, and then he walks off into a heaven-like place.
I was going to say the Stargate from 2001, but you made a good one too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, so first time watching it, I thought it was good. I think the story was... I really was intrigued by the story, but I think the execution wasn't entirely there. But it was still a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people really love this movie.
Yeah.
Probably just because of that clay making scene. I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, you know about the clay making scene.
Yeah.
Or the pottery making.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's making the
yeah
clay thing, and then Patrick Swayze's behind her, like, rubbing up on her with all the clay on his hands. It's, like, super sexy. And otherwise, I don't really know why people really love it. I mean, it's very romantic, and I think, like I told Jake at the beginning, I was like, it starts off as kind of a spooky beginning and loud sounds and, like, creepy. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is what they do for the boyfriends who the girlfriends had to convince to come to this movie with them, because they're... And then, like, the same thing with the train guy. I think it was, like, a spooky thing they added just so the guys in the audience would be like, oh, this is scary. But really, it's, like, a full-on romance movie.
Also that the train guy, like, becomes his friend and, like, helps him later on. Like, I loved that, but I feel like that was also... ties into what you just said somehow.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg's character is the best. She won a lot of awards for that role.
Oh, easily.
I think she deserved it for sure.
Yeah, she won Best Supporting Actress, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And a Golden Globe for that, too.
Oh, that's great. Golden Globes are cool. Well, I think my favorite little moment in this movie is when she's signing for the check, but she puts her real name. And then Sam's like, he was like, no, you have to sign as Rita. And then she's like, oh crap, can I have a new one? It reminded me of the episode of Friends when Monica, like, and Rachel, like, put the other... They're, like, Rachel gets an injury, but she doesn't have insurance, so they put Monica's name on the... It's the same joke, but it's, like, more drawn out because it's a sitcom.
That's funny.
Which that came after this. Maybe that's where they got the inspiration from.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I was looking up, because when she has to donate the $4 million to the nuns standing outside the church, she's like, I'm not giving this money to a bunch of nuns. And I was like, relating that to her in Sister Act.
Yes.
But then I was like, I wonder which came first. And Sister Act came 2 years later, so I think that was kind of ironic.
Yeah, man, that would have been such a good reference. But it's they probably saw that scene, and that's why they cast her in Sister Act.
Probably. I mean, have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't, but my mom said it was really funny, so.
Yeah, I think you should watch it. It's really, really good. Her character in that's really funny, too.
The only scene I've seen, and I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there's like nuns in a casino, and I'm like, I've got to see this.
It's wonderful.
I don't know Yeah, Maggie Smith is in it. She's the Reverend Mother. She's McGonagall.
Yep.
That's great. Mm-hmm. That's what got me. I'm like, wait a minute, is that like Professor McGonagall? Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she's really good too.
Sister Act 3 is coming to Plus, apparently.
Oh Lord.
But maybe hopefully Whoopi's still in it. But yeah.
Yeah, where did she go? What's the last thing she was in?
I saw her. There was a book that came out like years ago, and she was like the person interviewing the author. But this is like in 2008 or 7 or 8, 9. So.
All right, hang on. Let me look her up.
Let's see what she's doing.
So actually, Whoopi Goldberg is in this movie coming up called Fairy Tale Forest. She's a narrator.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in the TV series The Stand. Is that the same as the Stephen King?
Yeah. It's a new like iteration, a new adaptation of it.
So she's in that, which is now. and she was in Blue Bloods, which is a TV series. I think it's like...
It's a procedural, HBO. Right? Or not procedural. It's like a cop...
Oh, CBS.
Cop show.
Yeah, cop show.
I think Tom Selleck is in it.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Okay, cool.
So she's still doing stuff.
That's good.
I miss her, though. I need to watch more of movies with her.
Yeah. We should do that.
The Color Purple. Have you seen that?
No, but I've heard of it. One of my friends in high school read the book.
Yeah. My mom made me watch it.
Was it good?
I think I would appreciate it a lot more now, but when I watched it, I think I was probably like early high school, middle school, and I was like, this is boring. That was at the time in my life where I didn't like drama films.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's great. I think Demi Moore won one award from like a small awards show, but I didn't think she did like that great. I don't know.
I thought that there were times that she did really good, and then there were other times when I'm like, she was just all right. But there were definite strong moments in there, I thought.
Yeah, especially like the end.
Yeah. But if you want to see a really good performance from her, I'd say watch A Few Good Men, because she's really good in that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That movie's incredible. It's like 12 Angry Men, like that kind of like movie where it's just like the dialogue is just so... It's just like hit after hit after hit of just good written dialogue. Mm-hmm. Aaron Sorkin wrote it, so...
Okay, nice.
I'm pretty sure he wrote The Social Network. I should know that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so yeah. So it's that kind of good dialogue, so...
Okay.
Have you seen Social Network?
Yeah, I don't really like it that much. No, I'm going to say I don't like it.
Okay, that's cool.
So...
A Few Good Men's better. Like I love Social Network, and it's a really, really good movie for me, but Few Good Men is like... great.
Okay.
We should just do an episode like not on a specific movie, just like movies we like have controversial opinions about, and that's like the whole time
argument cast.
Yeah. So Ghost. The movie overall was good, but I felt that the final scene was just incredible. Just like when he says goodbye to Molly, and then he goes off. That scene was just so precious. I loved that.
It was good. Yeah.
Speaking of the clay pottery scene, the record player that they use is very advanced. It's much more advanced than the turntable I have. So it like when the record's done, it'll pick it up and put it back in the sleeve for you and choose a new one, which is that's incredible. Like, especially for 1990, like that's amazing.
I think my parents said they had one like that.
That's awesome. I love that. And
that's how they would do it at like restaurants and bars and stuff. They would just have automatic ones.
Duh, because it's like a jukebox kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I really liked the mirror kind of joke, but now I already forgot what it was. I just wrote down mirror gag.
It was the mirror shot in the beginning where they were moving their stuff in, but the camera was facing toward the mirror, and then the mirror backs away with the movers holding it, and then you realize you're looking into a mirror. It was a really cool shot.
That was a really cool shot. And then when he goes through the doctor and sees the blood, that tripped me out. I was like losing my mind. I'm like, wait, what's happening? And
like
then, when Sam goes through the doctor, like when the doctor goes through him, and you see like the inside of his body, but it's just like a shot of like an artery, and I'm like, what is happening? And then he goes through the door, and he gets the same shot. So I'm like, is a door
I did not like that.
Bleeding? I don't get it.
Yeah, they were like too similar to be like he's moving through a different material. So it was confusing. We're like, is he seeing the inside of his body, or what is this?
Yeah, that's what I wondered too.
I think we could have done without those shots.
Yeah, and then the dark. Yeah, that's. I don't have a lot to say. I thought I would have more to say, but that's kind of it. I don't know. Do you have anything?
It's an easy movie to watch. You know, it did well at the theater and won some Oscars. Best Supporting Actress, but it was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Writing for Screenplay for the screen.
Yeah, and also editing and original score.
They got nominated for that, for Best Picture, Editing, and Original Score.
Yeah, and then it won Supporting Actress and screenwriting, original screenplay.
Yes.
The editing in this movie for me was a little wonky. I wish they had edited it a little bit differently, but apparently it was, well received. So
honestly, I mean, we learned all about Walter Murch in school, and we were...
Oh, it was Walter Murch. Okay, I take back everything I said. Walter Murch. I take back everything I said.
No. Don't. Like, I mean, yeah, so we read his book.
Yeah.
We learned all about editing with him, and obviously he's supposed to be like the best editor alive, but I didn't agree with some of the things he did. But I mean, maybe that's just a sign of the times, but yeah, like the whole seeing what's inside, when Patrick Swayze's moving through things, and some of the things weren't set up correctly, and I don't know if that was for the part of the writing or the editing, but some things were set up well, like when Sam goes back to Oda Mae Brown's palm reading place, and there are a bunch of spirits that she can now hear. They're all standing around waiting for their loved ones to come in, and the one spirit possesses Oda Mae.
Yeah, that was so funny.
She kicks him out, and then he gets all weak after that, and they're like, remember, possessing a body makes you very weak. And so then we realize that that's going to happen later with Patrick Swayze and Oda Mae when Sam and Molly want to share one last moment together. That was interesting scene where Sam possesses Oda Mae, and they start like dancing and hugging each other, but we see it as Sam and Molly, not Oda Mae and Molly.
I was going to say, because I could not stop.
I
was thinking as it was Oda Mae and Molly, and then I'm like, it's like she saw it as Sam, but then in the scene earlier we saw Oda Mae's body get possessed, but we saw it still as her. So yeah. I almost wonder, what if they had shown like the same thing with that person as they did with Sam? You know, I don't know.
Well, I think because it starts off with Oda Mae's hands touching Molly's hands, but then it kind of backs out to a wider shot, and we see just like Sam and Molly together. So I think it's like in her mind, that's what because I think if they would have just done it with Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, we would just be thinking like, oh, this is so weird.
No. Like I.
But no, I understand what you're saying. Like if they did it earlier on, if the human person who's still living on Earth saw her husband instead of Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Was if in that earlier scene, if the woman had seen her husband, and then like we knew that whoever possesses Oda Mae, that would be like intangible, reality. Then when Molly and Sam have that moment, it could be like she's actually seeing him. But they save that for the end of the movie anyway, so it's all good. Yeah,
it was weird. Yeah, I almost forgot about that scene.
There's also the really creepy scene with Carl. I did not like him as a character.
Ooh,
which I know you're not supposed to, but like that scene, I'm like, okay, how far is this scene gonna go? Do I need to like get up and leave the room?
Oh right,
because Patrick Swayze's
make a move.
Yeah, and Patrick Swayze's like right there, and it's like it was so infuriating, but like in a good way,
Yeah, he did a good job playing the character. Honestly, I don't think I realized that Patrick Swayze is dead.
Yeah,
that really surprises me. I feel like a Mandela effect or something, because it was in 2009 when he passed, and I was well aware of this movie and other things that he has been in, and I don't remember anything in the news or like being like, oh no, Patrick Swayze died,
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
I remember somebody telling me once, and that was like before I knew who he was. And then once I found out later, like, because I just knew him as like, oh, I'd heard that name before because he's no longer alive. So I kind of had the opposite that you did, where like when I started to see him in movies, I'm like, oh yeah, because, and then I think I just looked it up because I'm like, wait, is he the one that died?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No. If you have something, you go first.
No, go ahead.
So that was Ghost.
Oh, okay. Well, I have other things, I guess.
Yeah, that's why
I didn't know you were gonna wrap it up. Okay. Yeah, some things just didn't make sense. We were kind of talking during it. We're like, well, why did this happen? Or what does that mean? Or like, why did she do that? Like, there's that shot of Molly sitting on the steps and she rolls. It looks like a swear jar with a couple coins in it down the stairs, and it just shatters. I think that's just like, she's sad. I don't know. But like that swear jar we knew nothing about, I don't think. Did you see that earlier on in the movie?
I was trying to see if they had a scene when they discussed like change before, like between her and Sam, but I just couldn't remember if there was one.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was. Maybe I missed it. But yeah. And there was like no setup for the cat hating him. I feel like that would have made more sense if we had a scene earlier on where the cat didn't like Sam. But maybe you just said maybe the cat doesn't like ghosts, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Oh, the score and the soundtrack were kind of weird. I mean, just like the sound effects and like the dings and like the ba-dum. They were like really cheesy. And...
There was one that made you laugh. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I think it was at the end where they're like doing their fight.
Oh yeah, and he like crashes like out the window, and it's like bottom.
Yeah, something like that.
It was great.
It was pretty gory at the end when Carl gets murdered, or Carl dies.
I didn't know if that was why it was PG-13.
Probably.
Because I don't think there was too much like swearing in it, or besides the one scene, there wasn't too much sexy stuff in it either. So.
Yeah, when we barely see Demi Moore's butt. There was a lot of ab action.
It's weird too, because in that scene, like their hands are covered in clay. Then the next shot, it's like they're not in the clay at all. So it's like.
Oh yeah.
Which I know.
It's like, so did you take a break and you like took a shower or something, and then you like lost your mojo, and then you had to work back up to it? But we're just seeing this. The magic of editing.
Why are we picking apart these super small moments that don't have anything to do with anything?
I don't know, because that's like what people talk about is that scene, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really find Patrick Swayze to be the most attractive person. He looks kind of goofy to me.
I think the same thing, honestly.
Okay.
And it took me out of the movie a little bit, but you know, like at certain moments I was like, Anyway.
It did escalate in a good way, though. I think the pacing was really good.
Yeah,
and it was a longer movie than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I was like really tired. We were both really tired. I was like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah, we were both super tired because we had out a long day.
Yeah, but good thing the ending was good. You know, it tied it all in, and
oh, absolutely.
It was a great ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why Carl and Willie, the murderer guy, were working together, because Sam had access to Carl had access to all of Sam's information anyway, because he was like his best friend. So I don't understand why. And because Willie wasn't even supposed to kill him. He was just supposed to get something from him. Like, he was just supposed to take his wallet and get some information out of it. I was like, Sam, you could have done that literally, or Carl, you could have done that any day of the week, because he works with him and they're like best friends.
I mean, like, let's say he gets up for lunch and leaves, or goes to the bathroom and leaves his jacket. Just snoop in his jacket, get his wallet, and there you go.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
But then there wouldn't be a story, you know, him. Yeah.
Yeah, but it could have made more sense. And well, so why was he trying to get $4 million? He was like on the phone with this drug lord or something. He was like trying to launder the money. So
I remember there was the scene when Sam looked in the account and said like, hey, you know, there's a lot more money. So there's like double the money than what's supposed to be in there. So I just took it as like account fraud, that they were just like trying to, I wasn't really sure where they had gotten the money, but I was like, okay, so there's some kind of account fraud, and that's what leads to him getting killed. So I guess I never really connected the other piece of it, that with Willie's like him being, you know, part of it.
Yeah, because at one point Carl's on the phone with Mr. Bernstein or something, and then he's like later talking to Willie, or he's like, you'll have your money by this time tomorrow or whatever. And then he talks to Willie and he's like, we're dealing with drug lords here. And so, but that just like, that was the only information we got, really.
Yeah. Now I remember that line now, and I just remember that like throwing me off, because I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was just the two of them. What's this drug lord thing? But maybe. I mean, it was like later in the evening, so maybe just like I missed a scene or something. And we just happened to both miss like the most pivotal scene that answers everything.
Dude, that happened to me once. The person I was watching it was Love Actually. We both missed this scene, and we were both confused. But we were sitting there watching the movie the whole time. But like for some reason, the ending didn't make sense, and then we were reading reviews online and like synopsises and stuff, and we're like, we did not see this scene. So like maybe it was cut out from whatever version we watched, but it was weird.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
I mean, yeah, we were like, we hate this character. Why are they making him look so good? And we found out that there was a whole scene that like made him empathetic. So
and you're like,
yeah, it was weird.
Oh. Well, if it was on TV, maybe it was a scene that they couldn't show on TV, you know?
Maybe it was on TV. I can't remember. I think we got it from Redbox, though.
It's Redbox at it again.
Redbox is at it again.
You should have stuck with Blockbuster.
Right.
We're going to reignite this feud on Film Therapy, apparently.
Of Redbox and Blockbuster?
Yes.
That can be on our controversy episode.
Yeah, yes. We'll get into a debate.
It'll be like, I think this, and I'll be like, and you'll be like, okay. And you'll be like, I think this, and I'll be like, Okay.
It's going to be 12 Angry Men without the conflict. We're just both gonna be like Henry Fonda and just be like it's possible.
Exactly. Yes. But okay, so that ends my notes on Ghost.
I'll do this again. So that was Ghost.
I'm glad you watched it.
Me too. I'm glad I finally saw it.
We kind of crammed this episode in next to our other episodes, so I don't know if you had any time to watch anything today.
No, I didn't finish anything. No. I'll save what I watched for next week because I watched half of a movie. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch probably something tonight, or a few things maybe. We'll see.
A few things. Wow, that's gonna be a marathon.
Oh yeah.
I'm really curious now what you'll watch.
Like I said last week / yesterday, I want to watch The Happiest Season, so I'm going to watch that.
Okie dokie.
And then we'll see what else. Probably something scary, because that will be too heartfelt for me, and I'll be like, I need scary.
Well, then you can join me to watch like Horror of Dracula or Curse of Frankenstein. We'll meet the first Paul. Although that doesn't happen until the sequels, so.
Okay. That's great. But we do have an email this week.
Intriguing.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead. Go. I'm ready.
Okay.
Please read.
This is from Kyle, and it says, Hey, film therapy people. Love the podcast. I found it last week and am binging my way through. I love the Twister episode. Yay! Anyway, I've been having this problem lately, and I could use your advice. I have been addicted to video games, but I feel guilty about it. I always feel lazy when I play, but it takes my mind off my work and my stress that I deal with. I want to stop playing video games so much, so do you have a recommendation for a movie I could watch that would fulfill my love of video games, but also take my mind off my work and stress? Thanks. Keep up the good work. From Kyle.
Well, thank you for that email, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks. I have a couple suggestions. Maddie, if you have one, go first.
Okay, so when I think of video games, I kind of think of fantasy games, but I know there are a lot of games that are like first-person shooter games, so that makes me think of action films. But then like the type of video games I'm thinking of are like, like Lord of the Rings, Witcher, Destiny, which is a first-person shooter, but also like sci-fi. Or that we've got, people are playing Among Us a lot right now, which is you can play on your phone. And that's kind of like have you ever played that game called Werewolf or like Assassin? I'm sure you played some sort of version of it.
Oh, me? No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of, because there's a lot of types of video games. I'm not sure what type of video games you play, but.
Well, if you're looking for a video game movie, there's like the Resident Evil movies. There's the Mortal Kombat movies. But
Ready Player One.
I was just going. That was the first one that came to my mind. Was Ready Player One. Very good movie. I want to watch that again, actually.
I have not seen it.
All right. Well, that'd be fun to watch sometime.
Did you know Ready Player 2's coming out?
Yes, I did.
The book.
Yes, I did. I have not read the first book, but I'm curious to see how it turns out, and I'm curious also like if they do make a movie of it. But we're ignoring the best video game movie, which is Spy Kids 3D. That's what you need. Go watch Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like entertaining and can kind of swoop you in. Especially if you wear 3D glasses.
Especially. So get those 3D glasses.
At your local Walmart.
At your local Walmart, yeah.
Get those.
Local Walgreens. While you're at it, watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl, because that's also a great 3D movie. It's kind of like a video game.
Did you see there's a new Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yes, and it's not Taylor Lautner.
No. It's Shark Boy and Lava Girl as
adults
and then their children. It's kind of like Spy Kids, I guess.
Yeah, so they got the actress who plays Lava Girl, but they didn't get Taylor Lautner to come back. And I was talking to Tuin about it, and then we were both like, we're kind of weirdly excited for this. And then we found out that he's not in it. We're like, oh, no, all enthusiasm just gone.
Oh, man.
No, you can't do it with one half of the dream team. You gotta...
Yeah, why did they do that?
They said he was busy doing something else, so who knows?
What's he doing? What's you up to, Taylor?
Twilight Part 6.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna refilm Midnight Sun, so he's in that.
Oh, yeah.
They'll film Midnight Sun, but it's just like the same movie, just with like deleted scenes. And then they call it Midnight Sun.
Yeah, that would be so weird.
Just get Robert Pattinson to narrate, and then they can just like they'll murk it somehow so it's a slightly different movie.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Oh God, but if we get that, they're gonna do the 50 Shades movies again from his perspective, and I'm like, please don't do that.
Oh my, oh no.
Because those books exist too.
They do?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I was in Walmart someday, and it says like from the perspective of, you know, whatever, like that, and then I'm like, oh my God, why?
The guy, yeah.
Why does that exist? Video game movies.
Other video game movies.
Spy Kids 3, Ready Player One, great movie. And it's also about virtual reality, so it'll take your mind off of, you know, the world that we're in today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I mean, if you like playing video games and it relieves your stress, and, you know, maybe just take a step back and just kind of put yourself in moderation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if
maybe
you wanna, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, if you want a video game series, I really recommend Sword Art Online, but I'm a huge fan of that. It's an anime series about virtual reality gaming. But if you get into that, that's going to take up all your time. So that doesn't really solve your problem.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that you realize you feel guilty about playing your games and you feel like you need to be doing something, but it still just like takes your mind off work, which I think is fine, you know. I mean, I understand. I don't really play video games because I always feel like I should be doing something else, but I guess at least like if you're watching a movie, you can also be drawing or typing or doing something, you know, and maybe get a little something more done than you would have if you're playing video games. And also you can watch some great art from some great filmmakers and actors and actresses. Not that there isn't a lot of work put into video games, because there is for sure, but you just might feel a little more accomplished. Especially if people ask you, you know, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? And you say, no. But whereas, like, not that many people go around and are like, have you played this yet? Because I really want to talk about it. And there's all these things. And, I mean, some people do. I don't know. I'm rambling. Let's see. One other... Well, Mad Max kind of reminds me of a video game. And I also kind of want to watch that again. It's been on my mind since we talked about it a couple episodes ago. And also The Book of Eli. Have you seen that?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic thing, and I feel like a lot of video games revolve around that, or like in that time. Mm-hmm. And it also kind of reminds me of Mad Max because it's in like this dusty oasis dusty desert place. So I think that would be kind of good if you play like Red Dead Redemption or something.
Mm-hmm. If you like a movie with a video game aesthetic, I would recommend Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Like a good vintage video game aesthetic.
Yeah. It's also just a really good movie, so.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that movie so much. Top 3.
Oh, really? Wow, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you, Kyle. Hope you can get to watch some of those movies.
Yeah, good luck.
Start some conversations with people about them. That will inspire you to watch more movies. I mean, I feel like film school was just a big pressure pit for us to see as many movies as everyone else, and that's how we started watching movies every week and every day. I remember what some of our friends said, we're trying to watch at least one movie every day, and I was like, damn.
I tried that for a semester.
I mean, it's a good goal.
I watched 60 movies in one semester.
Nice. Wow. That's impressive.
I don't know how my grades were that semester, but I think they were still pretty good.
I'm sure. But what should we watch next week? Oh, you had a recommendation?
Yeah, so their prescription for next week is Sideways. So go home and watch that.
I'm very excited. I think I mentioned this before, but some people have told me that, like, after talking to them about what type of movies I like, that they recommended I should watch Sideways. So
yeah, me too.
I'm
me too.
excited to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what it's about. I'm going to go in blind.
Me too.
It's going to be great. I'm really excited. Until next time, everyone just take your medicine. Don't forget to watch movies and stay safe. And we love you.
If you can't tell, we're extremely exhausted. So this is the most mellow episode yet.
Yeah, this is like pretty
We should end on a controversial movie opinion. Like, What's a good one that'll rile up some people? Ruffle some feathers.
Uh-oh.
Joseph's the kind of guy that likes to get in there, ruffle some feathers.
Who's Joseph?
Joseph, the processing guy. Him and his wife Karen are thinking about having another kid. No, wait. They just did.
What?
It'll be great when she steps off the dock into nothing.